Welcome back to McDougal Productions. In this video, we are going to look at how Gabe Davis was used this year by the Buffalo Bills. We are going to be analyzing what went well and what didn't in the Week 9 game against the Bengals when he had no catches. Okay, so in this first play, we have Davis at the top of the screen. He will run a corner route. As we start the play, you will see the corner sink back to defend Davis, leaving Kincaid open in the flat for a short gain. As we slow it down further, we can see that Davis runs a good rub route on the corner, meaning that the defender can't run with Kincaid, allowing him to get open in the flat and turn upfield. In this next play, we can see Davis at the top of the screen on a go route. In man-to-man coverage, he is locked up and Allen goes across the middle to Kincaid. When we slow this down, we can see that the corner isn't in bump and run coverage, but he isn't giving much of a cushion either. This is where Davis's lack of down the field speed limits his ability to beat man-to-man. So we can see here that while Davis is a down the field threat, he can be locked down in man-to-man defense, so he can't run all the routes. But does this also limit his opportunities at the line? Let's take a look at some of the quick throws and screens that the Bills run and what his role in them are. Here we have a quick screen to Diggs with Davis lined up on the line just outside the tight end. So what is it that Davis is doing here? Is he running down the field to take a defender out of defending the screen? No. He is double team blocking with the tackle. In a play like this, the coaches know that he is more effective as a blocker than teams needing to respect his straight line speed and not being able to defend against a possible fake screen deep shot. This play shows that because Davis has certain limitations, there are certain plays in a modern NFL offense that he is just not going to have opportunities on. I don't know if this play was an RPO, a check, or just a called play, but this shows that while Diggs' skill set is versatile and he gets a lot of plays drawn up for him, Davis is just not going to get those opportunities. In order for Davis to get the ball, he has to run a good route against the coverage, Allen needs to see him open, and they both need to execute on the throw and catch. It's just a much more difficult play to make than a quick screen or a hot route. Here in this play, it really helps to show why Shakir broke out in the second half of the season and Davis had a diminished role. Here we have Davis working down the field against single coverage and breaking across the middle for a deep crosser route, while Shakir starts upfield and then breaks out and up for a big play. As we play it, we can see that Davis gets locked up in man-to-man coverage, but Shakir fakes to the inside slant, making the corner pause in his pursuit, allowing him to break out wide, and the corner just can't keep up with him. If Allen can put another yard on the ball, it is a race between Shakir and the safety for the end zone. This really shows how Davis's lack of lateral agility makes it difficult for him to get open in man-to-man coverage compared to Shakir, who excels in doing that. And because of this, Allen finds Shakir for the big game. Alright, so let's take a look at some of the plays he won in this game. In this play, we see Davis in the bottom of the screen against soft coverage. As the ball is snapped, Davis runs a quick out route, which if thrown on time would be wide open. Allen instead is looking at Kincaid, who runs a similar route against the linebacker, and he wins the route and turns it upfield for a first down. Allen doesn't throw it to Davis, but he still wins his route and shows where he excels, against zone coverage. Here in this next play, we have Davis on the line next to Dawson Knox. This is another example of Gabe Davis winning the route, but Allen knows that he can break to the end zone for a touchdown and turns down a likely throwing touchdown for a running one. Davis is showing that he can be a threat, but Allen has consistently taken the safer play and didn't throw it to Davis. Because he is such a red zone threat running-wise, Allen often chooses to run the ball into the end zone rather than throwing it like some of the other top-tier quarterbacks around the NFL. So we have seen Davis being limited in certain routes, but what other routes can he run other than deep crosses? Well, here again we have a play with Davis on the outside against zone coverage. Let's look at how the corner is playing him. He plays him tight at first, but once Davis looks like he's going deep, the corner quickly turns his hips to go deep, and then Davis rips his route back, and the defender stumbles. And this is another example of Davis being open if Allen has him as the first or second read, and the throw is completed on time. But he is looking elsewhere and does not attempt to throw Davis the ball. So we see where Davis is successful But is he only running routes that match up with his playstyle? Let's take a look at this play, where we have Davis out wide at the top of the screen. At the snap, he shuffles his feet, acts like he is doing a short out, but fakes it back. Because of the tight man-to-man coverage, the defender is able to stay with Davis very easily. Since Davis doesn't have great side-to-side agility, it's not difficult for a defender to wait until he just shows which way he is going to go and then catch up to him. I don't know if this is an example of the option routes that we saw under Dorsey, making Davis play slowly because he is thinking about which route to run based off the defender, but it is apparent that this type of play doesn't fit well with Davis' strengths at all. He is much better at making a decisive move and running downfield. So in this play, here is a route where Davis is able to excel, but Josh just isn't looking in his direction. Davis is wide open going across the field against the zone. There is an underneath defender, but in the NFL that is an easy throw for at least a first down and could be a gain of 20 or more yards. There are several examples from this game alone where he is beating the zone defenders, but either Allen is locking down on deep routes or he isn't going through his progressions quick enough. It's not that Davis can only run deep crossers, but he excels at getting across zones and finding openings either in the middle or towards the sideline. This may be a coaching issue because Allen didn't go through his progressions quick enough in the Dorsey era, but it's not an issue of Davis never being open. Alright, so let's transition to the Week 12 game against the Eagles, where Gabe had over 100 yards receiving. In this play, Davis is locked up in man-to-man coverage, but when Josh scrambles out of the pocket, Davis breaks to the sideline and Josh hits him with an accurate throw. So even though Davis is covered, when the play breaks down, he is good at boxing out the defender and getting a big gain. In this next play, here is Gabe tight along the formation, and the Bills call a great play. Slay is stuck in a no-win situation. He can either stay with Davis, but leaving an easy dump off for a big play, but Slay decides to stay protecting the flat, but instead the safety can't get over quick enough, and Davis shows off his ability to toe tap on the sideline. Davis again is excelling against zone coverage, and one of the biggest differences is that Josh Allen is going through his reads more quickly and finds Davis wide open. This is another play when Gabe is lined up tight against the formation and he shows the best route for him to run against zone coverage. Here we can see that Allen quickly goes off his read from Diggs, with Davis being the next he looks at and hits him in stride for a big gain. Okay, so the last few plays shows how successful Gabe can be when Allen looks his way and he has the right routes for the right defense. But is this something that happens consistently? Let's look at this play and how route combinations just don't make sense. Here we have Davis lined up at the top of the screen, and at the snap, both him and Kincaid are running in the same area. Now Kincaid does get hit off the spot by the linebacker, so it's possible that he was trying to run in a different direction, but you would think that if that were the case, he would be going somewhere else after he is hit. But in this play, we have two targets in the same area, making it much easier for the Eagles to defend both players. In this next play, we have Davis at the bottom of the screen, a natural rub route, and both he and Shakir are open in man-to-man coverage. But rather than throwing it with some arc, Allen tries to jam it in there, and actually hits the defender in the back. This is a good play by both receivers and should have been a touchdown if it was a better throw. So it's not just always that Davis isn't capable of beating man-to-man coverage when he runs vertical routes, but Josh Allen has to be willing to make the right throw in those situations for it to lead to a big play. Here in this play, we can see that Davis is open, but Josh Allen is locking too much into Diggs. Davis runs down the field, and knowing tendencies, the Eagles' defender peels off Davis. Josh Allen can see both receivers in his field of view, and once the defender peels off of Davis, it is a perfect honey hole shot. But instead, he predetermines that he's going to Diggs, and the corner comes up and makes the great interception. Davis has shown an ability to get open consistently, but he also needs to get more opportunities to make catches, so that way plays like this can be successful. Now let's look at a play where Josh does come off Diggs quickly and looks to Davis. Here Davis is at the top of the screen, tight against the formation again. He moves across the field, settles into the zone, Allen comes off Diggs and sees Davis open and hits him accurately, so that way he can turn upfield for a few extra yards. This is a great throw, and good on Davis for fighting to get further downfield. So we can see that Davis is effective when Allen goes through his progressions and looks his way. But we also have a play that shows how good Davis can be as the first read, especially in the red zone. Davis is at the bottom of the screen, he makes a quick move on the slant, gets separation, and Allen delivers a great throw away from the defender for a touchdown. It's a great play. Davis wins early with close coverage, and Josh Allen makes a decisive throw to him. So we can see that if the right plays are drawn up for him in the right situations, he can make impactful plays. To wrap things up, the last play we're going to go over is the missed touchdown pass to Davis in overtime. I understand the quick throw from Allen here, although he does have an extra second to allow Davis to show which direction he is going. Now, coaches may have told Davis to stay straight here, but with the defender in his hip pocket, taking the route to the corner is the better play, so that way he could have more separation to make the catch. I don't know if coaches do teach it this way, but when you see the defender to the inside, it'd be better to throw at least to the outside shoulder, if not to the corner. If it were thrown to the other shoulder, Davis may have been able to adjust it or fall to make the catch. But having it to the inside shoulder makes it nearly impossible to make this play unless both the quarterback and receiver are completely on the same page. This could be down to coaching, but regardless, it is a play that Davis won his route on and could have scored a touchdown if it was executed properly. So taking the good with the bad, what are we supposed to take away from all of this? Can Gabe Davis run every type of route and win on every type of play, regardless of what the opposing team does? No. Is he a very good wide receiver who isn't easily replaced by someone else currently on the Bills roster? Definitely. Gabe Davis is a very effective receiver against zone and very tight man-to-man coverage when he is able to get leverage. The way that Ken Dorsey tried to use Gabe Davis was not maximizing his skill set, and it could actually be the frustration from Davis, not Diggs, that led Sean McDermott to decide to move on because of ideas that Joe Brady had to improve the offense. Is it wise to ignore Diggs and design the offense around Davis? Definitely not. But that does not mean that no play should be designed for Davis to get open, and that Allen shouldn't be moving off of Diggs when he's covered, looking to Davis, and either returning to Diggs depending on the route or going to another read. Part of Davis's decline this year could be attributed to his limited skill set, but being hyper-focused on Diggs may have limited Davis's opportunities this year. That combined with the fact that Kincaid, Shakir, and Cook were all demonstrating a greater target load because of how they were performing, also diminished Davis's role. So what did the Bills do this offseason with Davis? Do they pay him what he may find in the open market? Considering their cap situation and the potential Gabe Davis replacement in Justin Shorter, it's unlikely that they will sign him to a long-term deal that averages more than $10 million a year. But consider what they paid Trent Sherfield this offseason. 1 year, $2 million. Is Gabe Davis worth more than that? Definitely. Will he get more than the Bills can afford to pay? Most likely. Think back to the Matt Milano extension. At the time, he was an excellent, but not as high-performing linebacker as he is now. But he could have definitely gotten more than the $10 million per year that he got with the Bills. He likes living in Buffalo. Has said himself that he is more of an introvert and likes the pace of Buffalo much better. And he is comfortable where he is and is making more than enough money for what he needs. If Gabe Davis has similar sentiments, he could be willing to take less to stay if the Bills want him. It is clear that he has the skills to be a quality wide receiver, maybe even a number 2 if he's used properly. It will always come down to money, considering the cap situation the Bills are in, and in the end, they may be better for the Bills to just move on, draft someone relatively high who they have a plan for and fits in their offense. So what do you think the Bills should do with the wide receiver 2 position this year? Let Davis walk regardless of the price, or resign him if the deal is right for the team? Comment what you would do if you were the Bills, and what you think the Bills will actually do. Please like and subscribe to help my channel grow, and I look forward to you joining us in the next one.